Sorry about that, everyone. Had a little spot of technical difficulties. Since this stream is also being recorded, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my intro over again. Hi, I'm Wanda Wix. This is Disco Elysium. Content warning. We're gonna get back at it. Hopefully we won't have another one of those little hiccups. I do apologize for the inconvenience. Okay. So before that little hiccup, wanna get this? We're just gonna rapid fire through some of the text here. GRIH, Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. We already did that, and here's
A
this.
Stars Ryko, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. An oldie, but a goldie.
That's this car here. Who drives these?
Not many people outside of Grad, and Revachol West too, it appears.
Hey Kim, check this out.
A Stash Ryko KK2. That's a classic model. Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time.
What happened last time, Kim?
An old case for my precinct. A couple of Jim's migrants saw a Stash Ryko stopped in the street, painted just like this, muddy brown. Murdered the driver on the spot. They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The Jim's community protested the trial, flying the banners of some old king or whatever. 5,000 came to protest.
Correction, 4,395. The fourth largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
So who are the Jim's community?
People we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at that.
What did they sentence the killers to?
4 years for murder in Reunion. The perps were remorseful. Their sorry knocked 8 years off the sentence. That's the system.
The prisons in the Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor are already full. Prisoners are expensive to maintain. The longer the sentence, the larger the cost.
Kim, could our hanged man have been the driver of this car?
I try to avoid drawing far-gone conclusions like this before actually examining the body. But my initial guess is the two are unrelated.
Interesting. Before we proceed, I have an opinion on this paint job.
Yes, detective?
Right. Well, this little bitty crash has given us an opportunity to give the opposite answer. They should have left it baby blue.
You sure you're not Jimsk?
He shares a smile with you, only for a second.
Yes, you're sure you're not. Or if you are, it's only in that Revacholian way. 4 to 5% maximum.
We're a melting pot. Okay. Now, fittingly enough, before the world ended, we were talking to the Pale Driver again.
Lowman, you caught me at an opportune moment. This awful weather keeps me awake. You can entertain me with your questions.
And since we've heard about the Pale from Joyce, we can say this. I think I know what's going on with you.
And what is that?
She sticks a filterless cigarette into a cigarette holder and reaches for the light. You're a Pale Driver. You transport goods through the Pale.
Great. He asked the Pines rep about the Pale, and now he's talking to everyone about it. Fine then. Just try not to black out again, and don't contemplate. We don't have time for that.
It's death, but for the universe, oh, we're contemplating the living shit out of this.
Oh, I'm contemplating, Kim. I'm drawing existential conclusions from this.
Exactly what I didn't want you to do. Ma'am, my partner wanted to know if you work in Pale Transport.
No offense. But your partner?
She lights the cigarette. A white and silver cloud of smoke disappears into her mouth.
Seems like a bit of an idiot.
She breathes out. The air tastes sweet.
Republica, a filterless cigarette from Misk.
Republica. That's not very healthy.
Neither is Pell transportation. Life is transitory.
I blacked out from sheer heartbreak and lost all memory of the world.
Like Gabriel Buenguerro in Segúreme, Paraíso. You're the opposite of me, then. I remember everything, even the things I never knew.
Things you never knew?
The smell of liquor on Gabriel's lips after the shoot. In the motor park. The roses on the day of Franco Negro's coronation. On the grand stairs of Ryle. The smoke from the fowling piece when Dolores Day was shot. The look on her face, like an orgasm. The wound in her chest. My hand in my father's hand. Except I never had a father. And I never shot her innocent Dolores Day.
Over radiation?
Heroic doses, Herifia. Heroic.
Isn't that dangerous?
Thought insertion? Dithering? The Grad Catalan Magistral? It's more than dangerous. It's sad. But at first I had to make a living. Now, when you've seen it all go away like that, rolling off like the sea, and then come back to this...
She gestures at the square, the broken horse monument, the clanging of machines in the distance.
What are we doing here? For thousands of years, Gabriel. It doesn't have to be like this. We can just give up. We can just become a vapor.
Much in the same way that Sarat caused the material conditions of the revolution, the material conditions of this woman's life are bad enough that it makes her want to go back to nothing. What does it look like? The Pale.
Like looking into the ocean at night. In the dark.
And
You cannot see it, but you know it's there. And it's big, bigger than anything. Bigger than all the other things combined.
what does it feel like?
Nothing. Until it starts. When you are deep enough. Then, for me, it's like autumn. Dark, gray, and orange. The orange of street lights and the color of streets and electric light. It smells like autumn too. It smells terrible.
How do you pass through it?
In the belly of an airship, behind the stair windows. So you don't look straight into it. It's not advised to look into it.
Not on this lorry, then?
No, the same one, a roller. They all are nowadays. Special wheels for connecting to the floor of the hold.
She points to the machines, clumped up like toys.
The wheels all small and round, multi-axle trailers.
One last thing. You said we can just become vapor?
Yes,
No elaboration.
I feel I already have what you have, in some way.
they say there is a point. One that I have not crossed. In the Pale, super deep. If you stray too far, of course, on the U41A, or in Lomonosov's land, where every step you take is one step further from home, no matter the direction. It's a point you cannot come back from. Your mind becomes so radiant with the past, there is a flip. Instead of writing, it erases memory, nearing some kind of indescribable finale. Maybe you've been down the motorway south?
She looks at her cigarette. It's almost out. She has swallowed it hungrily, then at you. The motorway south?
It's a story as lone horsemen tell. Lone horsemen, Tarife, not Pale drivers. Way beyond the established Pale that's lit by radio frequencies, where it goes silent and dark, and the process begins, erasure, kilometer by kilometer, in any direction. The motorway south is a road you cannot come back from.
In the center of this town, there's a ghostly motorway, she sang.
It takes all the people where they want to stay.
They say I've been away on a kind of holiday.
She replies silently. What is at the end of the motorway south?
No one knows what's at the end. I've
She
only
take-
glimpsed the beginning.
She takes a cigarette out of the cigarette holder and extinguishes it.
I've only felt it in the distance, when I was a child. A child growing on the leg.
Man?
Josiane.
A sigh escapes her lips, then silence as she stares within herself.
She is receding in the clutches of some indescribable scattered emotion. A child, descending.
You've fried both your brains enough for today, detective.
He inspects her. No response.
Let's get some air. This one's far gone.
He shakes his head silently as he turns to leave. We got a thought. Let's take a look at it. Motorway south. Temporary research bonus. -1 to visual calculus. Bizarre angles. At the edge of the map, the landmass begins to disintegrate into pure trigonometry. The ocean melts, becoming a tangle of sines and cosines. The mountain range turns into a sharp-angled azimuth. Its green rain shadow dithers like music, turning into a waveform, and then vanishes. This is the end. A half-remembered textbook from your childhood. The porch collapsing on the edge of the Isola. A transition from reality to pale. A single vector shoots out like a rocket. It's the motorway south, splintering off from the known pale. To where? Where does it go? Well, we're not internalizing that thought, or at least not yet. Like I said, we're going to go open the weasel's door. But there's one other person we need to talk to first. And that's Renee, because we went to his guard booth and we stole his photograph. For some reason.
We're still waiting for a replacement for the bull you sent sinking.
Yeah, I'm on it. Hey, Renee, I found your guard booth.
Yes, the Debardeurs Union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance, mind you. I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
You must have seen something on the night of the murder. Your booth looks right into the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
Hold on, why are you on leave?
It's a private matter. Nothing to do with your investigation.
You see, officer, René is the kind of man who would rather die than admit he needs medical assistance or, God forbid, sick it. A real man's man is just gonna ride it out.
I'm fine, goddammit. Mind your own business. It's nothing. Just got to cut back on coffee.
So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The bus has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
You look suddenly very old and tired.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officer, the container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
Mostly decorative?
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabiniers' pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
Even though Everard Clare is a vocal communist, or socialist, or claims to be anyway, and Renee is a vocal fascist and Kingsman, Mr. Clare still gives him this purely ornamental job for the sake of improving the community. It's laudable in a way. Okay, so we've got a bunch of different political options here. I think we're gonna go with this last one. There's nothing wrong with tear collecting. It's my side thing too. Hold out the tear bag.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply there's something wrong with that. I do it too. Everyone does it. It's an excellent side thing.
Yes. Can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
I mean, fair.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it, thanks.
Yes. Like I said, it would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Alright, we're not going for this yet. Not until we replace that bull anyway. Thank you for your time. Alright. Just gonna hit that orb real quick. Again, every orb is 1 XP. Oh, it's gonna make us go around. That's fine. Gonna notice the bullet holes. Alright. Now, as I said, we're gonna go unlock a door. And here it is here. But first, another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. Again, it's implied that these are all from the Revolution.
This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head.
Press your ear against the door.
The leather upholstery is worn and rough against your jaw. You don't hear any movement. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp.
Carefully knock.
You knock silently. The upholstery muffles the sound. No response comes from the apartment.
I guess no one is in?
The lieutenant looks uncomfortable.
You're pretty sure the owner of the apartment isn't here. It's safe-ish.
Lieutenant, what's your opinion of the task we're undertaking?
Let's be honest. This isn't what I joined the RCM for, but every day tells you something new about yourself.
The lieutenant replies, still inspecting the padded door.
Apparently, working with the local union boss to get info on an investigation is not something I'm squeamish about.
So you don't mind if I unlock the door?
I mind that the local thug is using the RCM for his busy work. But if this gets us to the bottom of this hanging, then I'm willing to look over it.
Well, lesser of two evils. Ends justifying the means.
On the other hand, we could just leave and tell Everard we opened the door. No one seems to be tailing us to see if we actually did it.
Lie to Everard? That's also an option?
Yes. Presenting a fabrication is known to get results here and there. You took this task. You make the call.
The door is right here. You can just open it and be done with this.
We could attempt to lie to Everard. And to be perfectly honest, I know the dialogue choices to help us get away with it. But I'm not going to. We're heading in. Use Mañana's key to unlock the door.
You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling of the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocks with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. The sound of the key turning still echoes in the yard. Hopefully no one heard. There's nothing else to do than to leave and tell Everard. No conceivable reason for you to intrude on the premises. There might be important information in the apartment. I mean, there might. As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle.
Oh, what's this?
Master Investigator, you just can't keep yourself away from locked and hidden places, can you?
Savoir-faire has an opinion. What do you mean?
Nothing. You're right. Get in there. Deep. Invade every personal space. Break every lock.
I'm just browsing.
Yes, that's what it is. A quick peek here. A short glance there. It's all quite delectable.
We have yet another thought. Let's take a look at this one. The Jamrock Shuffle. By now it's clear you like to look inside containers. You like to open doors and see what's behind them. Maybe secrets, maybe more juicy containers. Let's be honest, you like all containers. Trash cans, utensil trays, manholes, coat pockets, secret containers left behind by the Philippian kings that hold forbidden relics. Okay, you haven't come across one of those yet, but one day... Wait, is that why you're so hellbent on opening containers? Do you think you'll find the Holy Scepter and the Orbe de Montaigne? This is a little bit of world building. Underneath Revachol, there are catacombs and crypts of all the ludicrously wealthy kings of the past 300 years. And you will recall that they were, in theory, cleaned out during the Revolution. But there's still a tradition of young children going down there, exploring in these dank passageways, hoping to find some forgotten piece of treasure. Anyway, not internalizing this one either. But we are heading in. Okay. Now, I have a bit of a challenge for all of you. This is the apartment of the weasel. We now have enough information to deduce who the weasel is. I'll let you guess. I'll tell you exactly who the weasel is as soon as we're done exploring. This is not information that our main character can come to yet, but it is possible to learn it. Anyway, first off, what's this up here? Oh, magnesium, don't mind if I do. And a small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? Let me grab that as well. A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. This is going to be important, this flag. What do we know about it?
This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty.
What's with the sun?
This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle.
What's the sevenfold sun miracle?
It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. Happens in cold weather. 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how old Revachol got its flag.
Lieutenant, the old flag of the suzerain.
Mm-hmm. The tenant is an old-fashioned guy.
By old-fashioned, he means very right-wing.
We're not going to bow to the flag. That so-called atmospheric anomaly is plot relevant.
The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with a sun sewn onto it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing.
All right, what else do we have? Inter-Esolary dress shirt. +1 to logic. Good with numbers. Pressed and spotless, gleaming white shirt. The kind that serious men wear at serious inter-esolary offices. Not yet piss-stoked or cum-stained. Might be helpful if we ever need logic. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Which is to say, the man from Hjelmdal. The smell of disinfectant in the room. Smells like chemicals. And this is where we hit the plot.
A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols. A broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others.
Tap on the mugs.
A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. There's something disdainful in the way the curves and lines of the bodies were drawn.
What do I mean, uncomfortable?
It looks like the artist is celebrating diversity, but underneath, he's just making fun of these people.
All right. Now we've got a couple of different options here, and unfortunately this option is fascist, but I am very much trying for art cop, and it seems to me like this is the art option, so I'm going to say the artist must be free to do what he wants. The artist must be free to tell the truth about what these guys look like.
Of course, you slippery bastard. The lieutenant picks up one of the mugs, then puts it back down with a look of disdain.
I'm beginning to feel better about breaking into this man's apartment.
Now you might remember, we found a similar mug in the dumpster that was locked, with the dead man's clothes in it. whip out your yellow man mug and compare.
Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines.
There's the missing tin soldier. Whoever lives here might have used the Whirling's container to dump his trash. And now they've drawn the ire of the Union. The plot thickens, as they say.
Indeed they do.
An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road.
Do you really think it's the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash?
Who knows? I'm not expecting too much from these clothes in the trash lead either way. It might turn out to be some random local matter, but still, a nice coincidence.
You could ask Everard who this person is once you're done here.
Ah, but we have enough information to deduce who it is. Let's move on from the mugs. Yes, Kev, you did get it. We have a book here on stick insects. We have set up here for sleeping on the couch, and here on the bed, where there's a suitcase of people staying, we also have this set up. A handle bolted to the wall, suitable for lifting oneself in and out of a wheelchair. Also over here, a ramp that can be added to the stairs. This is Gary's apartment. Lena and Morel's friend, who they are staying with while they're in Martinez, searching for the Insulindian phasmid. And like I said, we do not yet have the ability to come to that conclusion, but a savvy player might. Okay. So, we have done as we were asked. Let's go see if Mr. Clare is happy with us. I'm sure this will be the end of it. Gotta run all the way around, because unfortunately once the cloak is gone, we can no longer make that jump. Oh, what was that? There it is.
Snow covers the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. The white colors nearly meld together.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery.
We might be getting this because we looked at the Jem's car earlier.
This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Ferv series. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Won't it roll over in the first sharp corner?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Canema effectively a mobile power plant.
Oh, this tech talk is really rubbing me the right way here.
Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
So we can say, that machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. Looks impractical. Or a motor carriage, one of many. No, we're gonna connect with Kim.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
What's a pack in there?
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR-18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
That's what, a 7-liter V12?
7.2. Supercharged.
The lieutenant is trying to suppress a smug smile, unsuccessfully. A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Ever thought about switching to helium headlights?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
If we ever get this case solved, maybe we can do it together.
Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
And means no.
That's fair. Okay, let's move. Scored some points with Kim there. You know what, while we're looking at the car, let's phone home again.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Alice, please connect me to Station 41's Lazarus. That's Doctor.
It will take just a moment, officer.
Her voices fade out into the familiar radio static.
Gottlieb, what do you want?
You hear a man clearing his throat briskly, then an answer.
He's carelessly chewing on a piece of hard candy.
I was told to call the Lazarus. People are worried about me.
Oh, it's you.
You know who I am?
Yes, there's no end to the misfortunes fate has seen fit to rain upon me.
Alright. So our options are good fortune, you mean? Good fortune, right? You're basking in the floodlight of my glory? Yes, we live in difficult times, but at least it's over. Almost over, that is. Sorry I've been such a bother to you. Or, sure, but can you at least tell me about myself, as in who I am?
Who? You are? You lost your human visage a while back. Now let's get on with it. I've got more important things to do.
I think I've had a heart attack.
And you survived it. Congratulations. Are you mobile?
Yes?
Even better. Anything else? I wouldn't worry about that. Officers your age have coronary trouble all the time. Also, death is a natural part of life.
Isn't that what you want to hear from a doctor? I've lost my memory. All of it.
With all the damage you've been dealing yourself with drugs and alcohol, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised? Okay, anything else?
What else? I'm not a brain doctor. Look on the bright side. You've got a whole new life now. Use it wisely.
It's hard to say if he doesn't believe you or doesn't care.
It can be both. Doc, someone broke my heart.
Look, pal, getting pumped and dumped is not a disease. People live through it all the time. You should be happy for her.
Humped and dumped? Oh?
That's what the guys say, officer. That some chick pumped you and then dumped you, threw you away like an empty juice carton.
Do you know who this person was? Have I told you?
You must have me confused for a close personal friend. I am not. I am a medical professional with a constant idiot emergency on my hands.
You hear someone whine in the background. My eye, Doc, my eye.
Isn't there anything you can do for me?
What? You want me to do blood work for you again? Tell you just how bad things really are across the board? You want another rundown of everything collapsing inside your body?
Yes, I want the truth.
You want the real, honest-to-God truth? Stop drinking, eat magnesium and vitamin D. Our station is not a retirement home. We don't have the funds to deal with rock stars past their prime.
In much the same way that the prisons don't have the funds to deal with murderers for more than 4 years. Got it.
And no, I don't want to hear a political commentary on the topic. In fact, I got work to do. Some idiot has glued his eyelids shut with cyanoacrylate. It looks like Mactorson.
It's not fucking cryoacrylate. It's super glue, Doc.
Cyanoacrylate is superglue.
I guess that's it for now. The phone clicks. Suddenly you hear the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
I need you to connect me to a civilian. Sylvie. She may have reported a murder.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Kim, didn't Gart give you Sylvie's number?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Wait patiently.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello?
A female voice greets you through the static. It sounds like she's a million miles away from here. So our options are, hello, this is the police calling. I have some questions for you about your last days at work. Or, Sylvie, I believe we've met before. This is me, a detective from the Whirling in Rags. We're gonna try and pretend to be professional.
Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
You quit your job at the Whirling. Why?
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Why not?
Why aren't you comfortable discussing it with me?
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone.
Okay, did you leave because of Gart?
What? No, why would you even think that?
He told me he asked you out. Are you saying it didn't happen?
Please, don't bring Gart into this. It's none of your business.
God, why can't you just mind your own business? She mutters.
I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again.
This is the woman who was tending bar for 3 days, watching us before the start of this game. Was it you who called the police?
No, not me.
Why didn't you call? Didn't a corpse behind your workplace bother you?
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the union already knew about the corpse.
What does this union have to do with anything?
No one calls the police. The union would get angry.
What do you mean by that?
You know, what the union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Well, I am the authority around here.
Okay.
She obviously doesn't want to challenge your authority. You feel much better now. Sure. Tell me, why exactly did you let a corpse hang in your own backyard for weeks instead of calling us? It wasn't weeks, it was 4 days.
I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Push her further. Show her the error of her ways.
What others?
The other people who live around here. Local people. I didn't want trouble.
What trouble?
You don't live here. You don't understand. Squealing is frowned upon here. Everything is dealt with, well, by the union, internally. Please, I just didn't want any trouble.
Alright, we're not gonna really push on her. I see, don't worry about it, I understand.
You do? Oh. What else can I do for you?
Do you know who made that call?
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires. People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
We've already seen the one in the union office.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, go on.
Have you seen my badge?
Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past. Don't
Wait,
go there again.
How did you first learn I'm a police officer?
You told me back in the Whirling. You told everybody, and so does your badge. I don't need to hear about it anymore.
My badge is missing. Have you seen it anywhere?
Oh, no, I haven't, sorry.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours?
Kim doesn't have a uniform, and he seems real to me.
He's in plain clothes, voluntarily. It's different from not knowing where your uniform is.
Have you seen my gun?
Please, no. Not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective.
I showed you my gun? When did it happen?
You were trying to impress some people with it. Everyone was eating, and...
She stops, hesitantly, not sure if she should continue. And what? What did I do?
You were waving it around in everyone's face, begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Oh, those again. I have been trying to wean you off them.
Off of what?
You know, when you put your gun, your actual gun, on your temple and pretend to shoot your brains out, off of that, people don't like that. I remember this. You were screaming things like, "My brains are all over the wall, painting them red. I won't be seeing it, 'cause these are my brains. I can't see without my brains." Very nice visuals there.
Why would I threaten to kill myself? I mean, look at this world. I would love to stay.
There is silence on the other end of the line.
Yes, but what happened to my gun?
No idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like, "Big butts cannot lie," and "Guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns."
We already know we pawned our gun, sold it to Roy, and then Roy gave it to a woman who called herself the Pigs.
It almost looked like you pawned it, but believe me, I did not ask.
Hey, I found my patrol cloak earlier, but have you seen my policeman uniform?
Uniform? I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on, the disco things.
Do you know how my paperwork ended up in the trash container behind the whirling?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it.
Fair assumption.
I am sorry about that. Anything else, Detective?
I think I got everything I need, thanks.
I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Ooh. So we've got a +1 because we know that Gart asked her out, a +1 because of rigorous self-critique, and a +2 because we got that inexplicable feminist agenda, but a -1 because we said we're the law. Empathy is not our strong suit, but we'll give it a shot.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the whirling in rags, when she was still working there.
Nice. Wait, before you go, you're mad at me, right? Tell me, what did I do? I can't remember anything.
I'm not mad, it's just... You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit.
What skua thing?
The stuffed bird. The great skua. You threw it against the wall while screaming, "Fuck that bird," and laughing like a maniac. I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there.
That sounds like me, all right.
Didn't seem like you had fun doing it, though.
So you're telling me I was the one who made you want to quit?
Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I've ever seen. And I have seen so many assholes in this place. I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you...
Go on. I want to know what I did.
Well, you were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more. I hate it now.
Hold on, which song?
We Go On by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a parody.
Sorry. Sorry about the song.
To hell with that song. Then there was your room. Your project. An experiment to see how bad it can get in there. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. Threatened to make me understand. I had no idea what you meant, and I don't want to know. And then you screamed something about how you're actually a real cool guy, and no one understands it. One of the coolest guys there is. The coolest guy in Jamrock. Something about disco, too.
It's pretty obvious that a lot of our self-esteem and a lot of our self-concept is based on, well, if not being a superstar, then at least being cool. We'll find out, by the way, as we dig into our history with our ex, that was what attracted her to us in the first place. how cool we were. At least, that's how it started. I'm sorry.
And then I had to deal with your toilet. The one you clogged with police documents, causing water damage downstairs in the kitchen. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself.
Okay, I get it. I wasn't a very good tenant.
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst.
Okay, so our options are, I am truly sorry for everything, Sylvie. I was trying to show you the world of tomorrow, the great panic at the end. Well, you're the worst tavern wench I've ever seen. Girl, just loosen up a little. Don't you ever party? Or, I don't even know what to say. We're gonna keep apologizing.
God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened.
But when I spoke to Guard, it seemed like he thought you left because of him.
Wait, really? No, this is absolutely not true. I like Guard. I really do.
Didn't he cross a line when he asked you out?
No, I was actually flattered. I've always liked him. It was just bad timing, with the corpse and all that.
There's a pause. You can almost see her on the other side. The telephone cord coiled around her index.
I didn't know what to say to him later. Then you came and destroyed the place. So I left without explaining. I should have told him, maybe.
I can tell him.
Okay, but please don't mess it up. Please don't take out your gun or something.
That will not be an issue. What else did I sing besides the OO? I'm looking for a song.
All sorts of things. From disco, rock too. So much disco and rock.
Was I singing The Smallest Church in Saint-Saëns?
Yes, that's the one you like to sing along to the most. The later it got, the more that one came on.
That was the one we tore out of the tape machine.
Interesting. You still have to find a copy, though, before you can blast it.
Yep. Thank you for talking with me. Take care.
You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then, the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
No, I'm done with the radio for now.
57's over and out.
Her voice disappears into the void.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Tap on the fuel preheater gauge.
As you tap on the gauge, the indicator pin jerks as if startled. It's in the large orange sector, indicating the engine is warm. Next to the gauge is a red switch labeled heat.
Now, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile. I'm not going to turn it on for you again.
In other words, no, you don't get to drive around. Not that we would have anywhere we can drive to anyway. Close the door. Alright, I was about to go head to Everard, but you know what? We've got a mission for Gart. Let's go tell him the good news. Still have not talked to these people yet. We will. Hi, Gart.
Can I help you?
I talked to Sylvie. She left because of me, not you.
Wait, what? But what about the bird?
The bird?
Yes, the bird. I found it lying on the floor with a broken wing the morning she left.
She didn't break it. I did. I threw it against the wall.
You broke the skewer!
His face is flushed with emotions. A rash covers his neck. I don't know why he wouldn't assume that we were the one that broke it. I mean, he correctly assessed that we broke the fence and we broke the window. But I can understand that this has emotional significance for him.
I assure you it was him.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks for backing me up.
Why on earth did you have to break the skewer?
It's a mystery. You tell me. I just break things. It's the way I am. Or maybe I have a vendetta against it? The reason why we broke this, and we'll find this out eventually, the skewer is symbolic. It's representative of hope, because it was the bird that was first seen when settlers crossed through the Pale and came to this Isola. If you happen to have a biblical education, think of the grapes that were brought back from the Promised Land. Anyway, maybe I have a vendetta against it.
I can't believe it. I was so sure it was Sylvie. Even worse, I thought she was trying to send me a message. Symbol of hope and all.
It is a message, just not from her.
A tender type of hope. Something stirs in you. Perhaps this is why you broke it.
Indeed.
All right. Did she say anything else? About me, you know? Did she say anything about me?
So we can tell him that the power vertical isn't great, or that she didn't talk about him, but let's help these two crazy kids get together. She said she was flattered. It was just a bad time.
Really? I should give her a call then.
The man doesn't know what to say. He wipes his brow and stares at the counter.
Thanks, I guess. Was there anything else you wanted, or...?
We were sort of hoping there would be a gun, an expensive jewel, or at least a sword in it for you, if you deliver the message. Oh well.
No, all we get's the 30 experience. Alright, while we're here, let's talk to this guy about the borscht. Now, you may recall I mentioned the borscht quest is important and lives are on the line.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Alright, we're not going to be fascist at him, and I will let you know that if we did select this, Kim would inform us that the language we're speaking is not called Revacholian. Do you know what's behind that door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Leo said you're friends with Manana, is that true?
The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again.
So here's the big plot thing. What's in that borscht you're making there?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question. He doesn't know your language. You can just say something cool in return.
Yes.
Borscht need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Now, this is an unusually important dilemma. And unlike a lot of other video games, there's not a big flashing sign. We just get these two notes from electrochemistry and logic giving us the pros and cons. There isn't a big momentous, this is the good option, this is the evil option. But this is one of the few actions we can take that is definitively, unambiguously unethical. Manana delivers the orders to this gentleman because they speak the same language. No one else does. That's convenient. And the vodka being put in the borscht to give to all the striking people, keeping them in fighting spirits, as it were, well, they probably don't know that they're being dosed. The incidental dialogue indicates that this borscht has tomatoes and spices, very bold flavors. And even if we assume that most of the workers are perfectly fine with having a little drinky poo, there's at least one we know who absolutely would not. Measurehead. He hates Al Ghul. And it's unfortunately one of the big missed opportunities, I think, of this game, that we don't have the option to go tell Measurehead what he's been drinking. Now, very often people will approach this question just thinking of themselves. You can say, yes, turn the vodka up. If you do that, he will actually give you some and you get the alcohol item, which is useful in-game. But it is unquestionably a bad thing to do. You're dosing people with booze without their knowledge and against their will, explicitly in the case of Measurehead, against his will. And alcohol, we can make the decision to destroy ourselves, but we've seen what alcoholism has done to us. This is our opportunity to do that to other people. No vodka. Cut it.
The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak.
Believe it or not, that was significant, and we have done the right thing. Even if the game doesn't tell us so yet. Even if the game never tells us so. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Again, not talking to these guys yet. Not until we talk to Everard. Now you might think that the alcohol burns off, and that is very much the case in a wide open pan. But in a tall pot like the one they've got there, and it then gets loaded, by the way, into thermoses. We know this because if we take the other choice, what we get is a thermos. The vodka does stay in there. Or at any rate, that's the implication of the game. But yeah, we're gonna go report in to the boss man. Because, we gotta get our gun. No, not there yet. You know what? Let's talk to Leo about the borscht now that we've turned it down.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
I had some questions for you if that's not too much trouble.
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing.
Well, we don't seem to have any other comments about the borscht. Alright, that's fine. I'm off. Another orb there. Sometimes orbs weren't there before, and now they are. Stair made of pallets leading up. Alright. Hey, big guy.
Mr. Dubois, every worker...
He leans toward you, waiting for you to complete his sentence. So our options are a member of the board, in line with his ostensibly communist aspirations, is a living god, is an organ in the great state organism of war, also looks just like me. This would be the fascist option, or for himself. Like I've mentioned, we've already tagged all of the political options at least once, so other than that, we're going for communism. Member of the board.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today?
I'll let you know. Every time after this, when we come see him, he'll say every worker a member of the board. His greeting to us changes depending on that choice. And he's going to continue to reaffirm our choice for the remainder of the game. So it turns out the strikers are being served an alcoholic brew. I stopped this madness.
I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running lets me focus on the big picture stuff. Don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew? Stronger? Stopped it? Strike? I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry.
I think it's pretty obvious that he knew what was going on and is currently lying. I opened the door you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Okay. So our options are, I may have gone inside and seen a collection of racist mugs. I did go inside. He had the glorious flag of Revachol the suzerain on his wall. The deal wasn't for me to go inside, so I didn't. Might as well tell him the truth.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Everart's Rainbow Coalition.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
Now, I know I already mentioned this last stream, but I'm gonna bring it up again. Harry does not like the way that Everard Clare looks. And if you compare the painting, which is Harry's perception of people, the way he thinks of them, is pretty different from the in-game model. I just want to show you something. Look at that. Of all the characters in the game, I think this character looks the most like a grotesque parody of ourselves. You can see it in the shape language. Look at the forehead, the swoop of hair coming off the back like an off-ramp. The same grin, the same wide triangular lapel. Everard Clare is a grotesque caricature of us. That is intentional. You know what? Let's put this here. A more realistic picture of ourselves. We think of ourselves the way that other people see us. Anyway, as I was saying, the mug collection I mentioned was in the apartment. I found a similar mug in the trash with the hanged man's clothes.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best. Helping people. With the power of politics.
And you know what? Corrupt and disgusting as he is, we know that in at least one case he literally does. He helps out Renee by giving him this little nothing job. Renee would not have accepted charity, but a guardsman's job, oh, that's definitely a real job. He shows up on time and everything. Renee would be probably homeless without Everard Clare helping out the community. Despite the fact that Renee doesn't like this man and is politically opposed to him. But anyway, he is a slimeball. Let's continue.
Yes, yes. Do you think this weasel is somehow connected to the murder?
Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
Well, keeping things simple, that's our Everard.
Oddly, it seems to be true.
But this weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are neat freaks. If you don't mind me saying so, I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton. Yeah, that's law enforcement, all right. Great technique. You'd make a great sergeant.
Would he? I'm not so sure about it.
Oh, you're too kind, Harry. Way too kind. I know I'm not a real police officer. You are.
You said this lynching and the strike are related. How?
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
What do you mean?
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
You mean our victim?
Again, as I referenced, Pinkertons.
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire?
He performs a motion as if spraying bullets from a machine gun.
He likes that evocative imagery.
I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa. You name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
I don't have to tell you what this is a reference to, if you have any knowledge of 20th century politics.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Wait, they move the container?
Yes, I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
We're going to hear this a lot. I think there were 3 of them. That's a load-bearing think.
One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers.
Everett Clare keeps ignoring the other human being in the room. He's really trying to curry favor with us, specifically.
We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
He's as much as admitting that the Union, if not deliberately instigated the murder, at least is responsible. He does not fear us. The whole neighborhood is in on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
It is.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Titus Hardy. We're going to be talking with him very shortly.
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
They didn't take all 2 weeks, by the way. They killed him Sunday. And then it was a week until the start of the game. And they're showing back up Tuesday. They were only gone 10 days max.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
Leo's already talked about the lawyer girl. Elizabeth Beaufort, with the skin like a Douai Sucré candy bar. How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
I believe we already knew that the scab leader at the gates is actually the leader, well, now he's the leader of the mercenaries.
That does sound quite unlikely, yes. The big guy leading the scabs at the gate is colossal.
You mentioned a lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members.
7 men.
Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind.
Again, completely ignoring Kim's question.
Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Where can I find them?
You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
The lieutenant marks something in his notebook.
In the future, I could use your backing. Can you ask the Hardy boys to cooperate?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
That's why I haven't talked to the Hardy boys yet. This will give us a bonus.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Wait, why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
Well, what the hell? Take it.
The lieutenant watches you pocket the banknote. He looks a little puzzled.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
Kim's not a fan of what we just did, but it's not a deal breaker. Good talk, let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike.
And possibly tell us where our gun is?
I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left? So you have to be a social democrat?
So these are, again, our 4 political options. I'm not a man of the left, I'm a patriot of Revachol. Fascist. You're right not to trust me. I take care of me. I'm a hustler. I grind. I'm a money engineer. Ultra-liberal. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are. Communist. This is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right. I do what my heart tells me to do. Moralist. Still going communist.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is. Company snitches. Agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
Kim, what do you think of
It
this?
depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
He studies Everard.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martin A's, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
You won't, but we'll get our gun back.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can, deliberately omitting things.
So what are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martin A's. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates. There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
This is something that we'll sometimes get from Shivers. It gives us a hint of where we can find an item. Obviously, I already knew those boots were there. They're gonna give us a +1 to perception.
You're already pretty deep into this. What's a little more? No one can see you here in Martinez.
Now, of course, we can't actually get there yet. The water lock won't be repaired until tomorrow, but we're gonna take on this task anyway. So what will happen to the current occupants?
They are just gonna have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Are you 100% sure no one's going to end up homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martin A's is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them.
That's not a no.
We're gonna build a youth centre there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martin A's, not just the harbour.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the water lock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
He runs his fingers through his thin hair. What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbour. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
There's something special about it. It was attached to the Kvalsund crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
We already tried once, but we're certainly gonna try again. I'm gonna leave now, but we might talk again later.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Doing everything in his power to make us think that we're on his team, and vice versa. Okay. We will give that container another look. We've got 2 skill points now. Might be worth a shot.
You're back before the cargo container.
No, still locked.
Its drawer has not lessened since you were last.
Let's check our equipment. How are we doing for rhetoric? Anything? No, that's negative. Nope, nothing for rhetoric. Well, we're gonna want rhetoric pretty high anyway, so level it up. Oh, we actually have a -1 from our thoughts at the moment. Oh, what the hell. Still going with it, anyway.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have, despite the dirt that
There we
surrounds
go.
and trails you, a beacon of light emerges from deep within you.
Brace yourselves. This one's weird. Hello? Is there anybody in there?
The door stands silent.
Satisfied, detective?
A wry smile crosses the lieutenant's face.
Try again.
If there's someone in there, I'd like to talk to you.
Just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
Behold, the mega-rich light-bending guy.
You can't be serious.
In we go. Now, I want to show you something. I'm just gonna shift myself here. Whoop. Watch our money as we approach. We're sitting at 15 real. It increases the closer we get to him. Merely being in this man's presence makes us, hypothetically, wealthy. Also, he's so rich that light bends around him. That's how that works. Obviously. Anyway, hello.
The man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of capital. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for review.
Squint.
Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000 directions. It seems the laws of physics do not apply here. They are suspended, distorted, and echo.
Now, there's a number of influences that went into this character, but I happen to think he looks a little like Jeff Bezos.
Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you an aneurysm. Don't think about it too hard.
Wasn't even close.
In the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering as you utter.
Hello.
Welcome. Come in. Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors today.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand every word he says. It is very strange. An overwhelming hum covers everything. Voice doesn't escape from him.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
What you can see of his body appears composed in a sharp summer suit and yacht shoes. Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days. Anyhow, my name is Rustam Theodore, investor, license holder, and extremely high net worth individual. And you are?
Mr. Theodore, I am Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
My name is Harry, and I'm a detective.
Pleasure to meet you, Harry. Public service is a noble cause.
How did you become so rich?
Oh Lord, not this again.
What's the matter, Kim?
Oh, nothing. It's just that we've got this murder to solve, and yet you go around asking everyone about money. And every time I ask, are you sure this is related to the case, you say, sure, Kim, I think it is.
He doesn't know it yet, but it is. Money and politics, as we have seen, is very much driven by money, is at the core of this mystery.
And yet, it never seems to get us any closer to solving the case.
Oh, ye of little faith.
It's quite alright. I'm used to the question by now. To be blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad.
This is probably before Krasmazov kicked off his version of the socialist revolution in Grad. Think of Russian aristocracy fleeing before the Bolsheviks.
All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
Actually, at the level this guy is, it takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
What's it like being an extremely high net worth individual?
I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. My assets are so diversified that I'm bound to come out ahead no matter what.
It's basically like betting on every number in roulette. As long as the wheel keeps spinning, which is to say, as long as civilization and human progress keeps advancing, you win. Must be nice.
Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, but doesn't that take all the fun out of it? And I tell them, not really.
Okay, so obviously we've got a bunch of different political options. We're gonna go with the communist one again. It's great that you've done so well for yourself, but don't you think you owe some of that wealth to the rest of society?
Sure, and they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a racing yacht?
Oh, of course, he's trickling down. Maintain a racing yacht? Thousands?
Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future it'll all be automated. But my point is this.
He says, jabbing his finger into the air a bit.
Every man gets what he earns. It's the height of tyranny to take that from him.
Of course, people with capital tend to have ultra-liberal leanings. Because why would you accept a state apparatus taking your money away from you merely because they can? Man, being a high net worth individual sounds great.
It is truly. It's almost entirely carefree. It really leaves you time to better yourself spiritually.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you need to ask him about.
Good call, Perception. There's something strange about you.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to put it. You look somehow a little different.
Are you talking about my chin?
No, I mean, I can't even see you. It's as if something is happening to the light.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course. It has something to do with our Weissman coefficient.
Probably not a coincidence that the person this is named after has a surname that is White in German.
The Weiss-Wieserman coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or 100%, it means one person possesses all the net worth among that group of individuals. It's been observed that when the Weiss-Wieserman coefficient reaches about 0.96 or so, the laws of physics begin to bend around the high net worth individual.
So what is our coefficient?
The Weiss-Wieserman coefficient for you and this individual appears to be 0.9998, repeating. That's not good for you.
Are you telling me that you're so rich that light literally bends around your face?
Among other things. But calm down. I'm but a lowly single-digit billionaire.
Really?
No, not really. There are actually quite many digits.
Kim, are you seeing this weird stuff?
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well dressed for Martinez, in a cargo container, which I admit is odd.
Kim is not like us on the verge of homelessness. Although, we do have an apartment, we just don't know where it is. But not knowing what it is and not being able to get back to it, I mean, is that not the same thing as not having it? Anyway, let's continue.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you. My container.
Yeah, what are you doing in this container?
Traveling. This is a great way to get around. It's fun, it's safe, and it gives me lots of time to think. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly?
He doesn't even know where in the world he is right now.
In the very, very early days of colonizing this archipelago, the kingdom of Sirens, a precursor of a modern Sur-le-Clay, used to own the city of Revachol, an obscure detail in the bigger picture, but still worth dropping.
So we can say, we're in Revachol, formerly a colony of the kingdom of Sirene. We're in Martinez, a district of Revachol, the former capital of the world. We're in Martinez. There's a pretty good hostel here called the Whirling in Rags. I don't think he'll be staying there. I really don't know. Well, Encyclopedia gave us this knowledge. We'll drop it on him.
A fellow history buff. I myself am currently reading up on Franco-Nigerian era trains. Very interesting stuff. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money.
And when they stop asking, then they threaten to bring out guillotines. Yeah, I'm familiar with the concept. Wait, why don't you help them? You've got so much money it can't make a difference to you.
There simply aren't enough hours a day to handle all the handouts. It's like feeding seagulls. There are always more, and they never seem to do anything interesting with it, except more seagulls.
As with a lot of other things we've seen, it's easy to justify your actions when you can literally dehumanize the other people.
Spending money is a matter of desire. I'm sure you agree. I don't have the desire for spending it like that.
So you travel from place to place via shipping container?
Smart, you know? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advertising we extremely high net worth individuals are constantly subjected to. Luxury yachts, high fidelity portable radio systems, fail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois.
Ah, so you're saying being rich isn't worth the hassle?
What? No, I did not say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
The bending light appears to wink. You're a rich investor, right? Can I have some money?
Could you please stop asking people for money? It does not reflect well on the RCM, and to be perfectly frank, we can't afford to look worse than we already do.
But Kim, I also can't afford to look any better than I do now. That's why I need the money.
It's perfectly alright. Based on your appearance, I can tell I'm dealing with a smart man.
Who is wearing a lopsided froggy visor, sure.
As you may know, us high net worth individuals don't have a lot of cash on hand. Investments and liquidity are enemies of one another. I think they only have coins for coffee machines.
You may recall when we got a similar handout from Joyce, the little plastic zip bag that she had only had a few hundred real in it. She literally gave us most of the cash she had on hand. Regardless of how much wealth you may have, it's usually not a good idea to walk around with $1 million in your pocket.
Here is 3 real. How much can you get for this?
It gets me almost nothing.
That's the idea, my friend. You've got to work for the rest. Maybe you can make that money grow. Come up with an investment plan. How's that sound?
Conceptualization. I think we're not... I we're not optimized for conceptualization. Let's leave for now.
Thanks for stopping by. If you ever have an idea you want to pitch me, I'm all ears.
Alright, we only get one shot at this, so let's look our best. Oh, the light bending effect is affecting us here. You can see the silhouette of where we actually are. Anyway, conceptualization, let's see. We're already wearing at least one thing that bumps it up. This might help us with it. Conceptualization. Right, and the shirt we're already wearing gives us a bonus. Yep, that's it.
Welcome back, gentlemen.
Any better?
What can I do?
72%, not bad. We get one shot at this. Let's try it.
Deploying high concept buzzword generator. All systems functional. Ready to engage in 3, 2, 1. It's time to disrupt the future. You've got to stay lean, innovative, and focus on what matters most. The children.
Everard is building a youth center. This guy might want to know about it.
A youth center, huh? What kind of youth center?
Come on, tell him what he wants to hear.
So, one dedicated to instilling liberal economic values in children from low net worth families. One to inspire the future leaders of tomorrow to public service. You know, a regular youth center with basketball courts and stuff. So, we could tell him that we're creating the next generation of ultra-liberals, or that we're going to be inspiring future leaders to make the world a better place. This is what he's all about.
Brilliant. Without children, who'll be there to buy stuff in the future?
Yes, and if it doesn't work out, we can always repurpose the center as a shopping mall or a private equity firm.
When life closes a door, it opens a window, yes? What's the expected return on this?
Highly educated, work-ready human capital, ready to be directed towards any number of your fast interests, or, with human beings, there's always a risk associated, which is why we've got to hold on to the center itself as a fallback. Both of these are pretty good. Let's say this one.
You're deep into ultra-liberal territory now. Good work.
Very impressive. You've got a natural eye for unusual investment opportunities.
Thank you.
I don't normally do this without a formal pitch deck, but to hell with it. What's the point of being rich if you have to follow all the rules? Here's the round of seed funding. This should be enough to prove out the concept and get things off the ground.
So we could say thanks for the handout, but no, we'll say thank you for placing your unwavering trust in me. As the bald guy in the Whirling in Rags said that helped us get in here in the first place, money is all about trust.
Remember, it's not a handout. It's an investment, and I expect to see returns.
I expect it all you want, jackass. This is the last you'll see of us.
The lieutenant stands there, dumbfounded. His mouth opens slightly, then closes again. Is he having a stroke?
Kim, are you alright?
Yes, I'm alright. Can we get going now?
Now, was there anything else I could help you gentlemen with?
We should get back to our investigation. Thanks for your time. And our money returns to normal. We actually have $118.97. Pretty sweet. Once again, soaking the wealthy. I might not normally behave that way if this were, you know, a real situation with consequences. But fortunately, this isn't. It's a video game. You know, some people indulge in fantasies of violence or farming. This is my fantasy. Okay. So we got a little more time in the stream here. Since we had that little hiccup, I do still want to make sure that the video is at least 2 hours. Talking to Titus Hardy and the Hardy Boys, is the next big thing we have to do, obviously. But before we do, there's a pretty important check we want to make over here. Gear up for it. What do we... What? Where's it? Oh, we're already wearing them. Okay, cool. That gives us our bonus to visual calculus. We're gonna make a visual calculus check. On these footprints.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here.
What kind of boots?
Heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails, all over the yard. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Lieutenant, workers' boot tracks.
Noted.
Get an exact count.
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud.
Go over them one by one.
1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 43. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46.
Wait, which is it?
You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. The cold must have preserved them.
Count more.
5. Another standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 44. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, same make of boot, but number 41.
Male or female?
Impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped.
I'm pretty good at this, ain't I?
You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of unimportance on it, and the tracks burn in the middle of it, in a strange, beautiful way.
Count the rest.
7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice as deep as the others. The weight exceeds 200 kilograms.
For those of you who don't know metric, that's about 440 pounds.
8. And yet another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in the pattern of the sole, however. The right sole is smoother, more worn.
How many?
The lieutenant has been tracking your eyes' movements. 8.
I was pretty off then. I counted 20.
The same guys are going back and forth.
I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary?
Light step, number 41 shoe.
A woman? Or a kid?
Don't think there's any way to be sure.
Understood. Anything else?
Heavy one, 200 kilogram imprint.
200? Could it be the combined weight of 2 people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly built, soon-to-be-dead man.
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
One of them was carrying him over.
Possibly, yes.
The lieutenant marks something down in his notebook. Now, this is important. If there was a group of 8 of them, why was only one guy carrying the victim? Typically, wouldn't one person have the head or the shoulders and the other grab the ankles? That's going to be significant.
But why?
You're thinking, why did they have to carry him?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows.
Maybe the victim wasn't conscious.
Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between 2 men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see?
An aberration. One sole is smoother than the other.
Interesting. Let's name it the odd sole.
Do you have any ideas, Lieutenant?
Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer?
So one of the people we're looking for is a drummer?
No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
Interesting. If only I had come up with that idea.
He doesn't seem to hear you, looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent. The engines are all turned off.
With the cars in the traffic jam, if one of these people was a driver, they're still here.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no?
Yes, prudent.
Mm-hmm.
How old do you think these tracks are?
A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported the hanging.
It is not impossible.
How do you know?
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Revachol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do you think happened here?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
You know what else we're seeing at first glance? Everard Clare said that the Hardy Boys, the group of militants, had 7 people in it. Who's the 8th?
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree. Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang. This is easy.
I think we have a firm understanding of what happened here.
The lieutenant's eyes narrow. He's thinking to himself.
Either way. What else?
We've been through all of it. We've been ignoring Kuno because, quite frankly, he's unpleasant. Let's get his opinion. Hey Kuno, I found your shack.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
I phase shifted through the roofing material.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
He can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to fuck at you again.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit.
I assure you, we can.
How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right?
What was with the pig head?
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
Demo tape, like some kind of a musician?
Yeah. Kuno plays on snuff radio, fucks pigs, live, fucks their heads off. Kuno's a cop killer.
Found a plate covered with powder residue. Know anything about it?
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
What's with the tube of magnesium, Kuno?
It's a vitamin, pig. Don't you know anything?
He looks at you like you just pointed at the sun and asked what it was.
You could use some.
It's magnesium, right?
Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a bottle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
Come on, it's just magnesium. Don't mystify it.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
He looks at you, eyes bulging.
Fuck you, pig. Don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
I've heard enough of this.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom.
Hey, Kuno, got any speed?
Fucking right, pig. Kuno's filling bathtubs with that shit. Kuno's a kingpin.
He's not. Can I have some?
Fuck no, pig. Kuno ain't dealing to the popo. Not doing the pork pen for your sad speed habit. You don't know Kuno.
Belying the act, he's actually telling the truth. Or at least 0.00001% of it. He has a little speed. He's just not giving it to you.
I want to discuss the body with you again, Kuno.
The fuck about it?
Oh no, we don't have another option here.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost!
About the crime scene, you kids often play in this yard?
Right, Pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it?
Dead man's clothes were in the trash container. How'd they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
I need to know. It could be a lead in the investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
We don't quite have enough money for that.
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Alright, entertain me. What's so great about these pants?
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists.
He probably stole them from one of the trucks.
Believe it, you need this shit.
He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic-wrapped pants. They are graphite black and look brand new.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness.
We do want them.
They will also make you into an idiot.
That is also true. I asked you what happened to his clothes. You must have seen them lying around?
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around, except for that up there. Now, you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
I might be interested in the pants. Let's talk about this later.
Alright, Pico. Shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno! He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno!
Honestly, a fair concern.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There was also a mug in the trash.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
Yes. Does this racist mug have anything to do with it?
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker, 'cause he's the clothes fucker?
This might be our first glimpse. Kuno's not dumb. He's really not.
I can't hear you, Kuno! Speak louder, Kuno!
That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with the crime scene, cleaned some of it up.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator.
He nods in approval.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together here.
Intelligence and curiosity go hand in hand.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno! They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching! Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah, get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face.
That ladder yours?
No, it's not fucking Kuno's. It's ancient. Look at it.
He thinks you're fucking fool, Kuno! He says you climb the ladder up to your magic treehouse.
Get the fuck out of here, pig. Kuno doesn't have a magic treehouse.
No, you have a magic shed. It's completely different. What's in the greenhouse over there?
Dunno. Kipta's gardener used to work there.
Kit is a pejorative term used to describe people of South Seminese or Areopagite descent. It used to be a common first name among the Areopagites of Ilmara. Not so much anymore.
Hold on, the gardener used to work there?
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
You mean the young woman by the whirling in rags, that gardener?
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
He looks you in the eye and nods, as if agreeing with himself.
Yeah, her. What was she doing in the greenhouse in March anyway? What kind of gardening is done in March?
We just learned from checking those footprints that it's been below zero for a week.
Fish is sometimes used to fertilize the soil a few weeks before planting something. Maybe she was preparing the garden beds.
I should ask her about that.
Yes, it seems suspicious. You don't like things being like that. Suspicious.
I might have questions later. For now, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
I gotta ask, who is Kuno?
Kuno's Kuno, pig?
The boy points to his chest with both thumbs.
It's always Kuno, never I. Clearly the kid's using the third-person perspective as a shield.
Interesting. You refer to yourself in the third person to distance yourself from the situation?
Kuno doesn't do that smart shit. Don't throw that bullshit at Kuno. Kuno knows you're lying.
This is a kid who, pretty reasonably, doesn't trust authority figures, including teachers.
Trying to get Kuno hooked on the book.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you!
Oh no, I triggered this. The thing behind the fence starts squealing, shrill and violent like a fire alarm.
Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Rape!
The sound gets louder as the child shouts at the windows overlooking the yard.
Help! He's got the Kuno, help!
If you are under the impression that this is an unrealistic thing for a delinquent 12-year-old to do, I envy your lack of experience. I'm not doing anything, see?
Everybody, please! He's digging his dick out!
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pigs in here, Kuno! Somebody, please!
It's full blast now. The wind carries the message far and wide across Martinez.
How did we get here? How did this happen? This makes no sense. There may still be a way out. Just appeal to his reason.
No logic? You are incorrect. This is the only way out, and we don't have a very good chance at it. Be logical, kid. I haven't done anything to you.
Fucking logical! Help! The logical pig is fiddling Kuno!
What is this sick charade?
No! Get off Kuno, you sick fat fuck!
The nearly psychopathic way they could slip in and out of the act implies you're not the first victim.
Who put you up to this?
No one. Kuno's doing this because he likes it, pig.
Help! The pig's gagging him! Kuno can't speak!
Someone put you up to this.
You put him up to this yourself when you decided to talk to him in the first place.
Listen to your friend.
Okay, no one put you up to this.
Help! The RCM is trying to fuck Kuno in the ass!
Tears of joy mix with sweat smelling of laundry detergent on his face. You high right now?
Help! Misters, help!
He prances around, eyes bulging out of their sockets, rolling hard, yelling at the windows.
He's flashing Kuno! He's showing his genitals! If you don't help Kuno now, it'll be too late!
We're not gonna punch him. We don't have a good shot at it.
Look.
Vanishingly silent.
For emphasis, a ghost is saying this. A shit-eating psychopathic ghost with an ace up his sleeve.
When you're powerless, you seize on to whatever power you can get.
I know you wanted to hit me. You got that I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up look that Kuno's dad gets. The murder look. The rage look.
He saw the option we didn't click.
Relax. He can't read your mind. He doesn't know you were thinking that. There's a dead body, remember? That's what you were doing here. You're a cop on a case.
How do you know that? You can't see inside my head. Can you read my mind, Kuno?
I can. Kuno can smell that violent shit. I know what you were thinking. I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up. I'm gonna shut his shit down. You know what? You should have hit the Kuno, because now you're nothing. You're a joke to Kuno. Kuno laughs at you. King Kuno!
Kuno turned you into his prison, bitch! You're gonna be in this shit with Kuno!
No, you're not. We can just leave.
Bitch, you're gonna be in this shit with Kuno forever!
The peepo-headed critter doesn't let him finish. Peepo's this hat. You might call it a toque.
A peepo is a type of hat, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Encyclopedia. Nice peepo.
Okay. Kuno is kind to his bitch. Ask your questions. But remember, this changes shit.
Click, 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 click!
Goes the little peepo-wearing asshole behind the fence.
Meaning, there's been a change in some kind of evil clockwork. There will be consequences.
Indeed there will be. And our empathy, much like our physical instrument, is unfortunately very low. And we are not going to try this, not yet anyway, because this is honestly kind of an important check that I really, really, really want to get. So, we're done with him.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Indeed he does not. And here's our thought we just got.
Cop of the Apocalypse.
Finally.
It's not fire. It's not ash. There will most certainly be a sea of corpses leading up to the event. But it won't be war or pestilence that causes it. Oh no. The event will belong to a genre of cataclysm no man has dared to suspect would ever come to pass. You can only sense the shape of it, like a cavity, a pit opening up in your stomach, a throat into which the world will vanish. The streets, the grass, the stars, all will be rolled back. By whom, by what, and how, you don't know. All you know is, you're not joking around.
We've been saying a bunch of weird stuff about how the end is nigh. And until now, you might have thought it was a joke. It's not. We can't do anything about it. We're probably not going to bring it up again. But on some level, we know it's true. By the way, I'm going to mention this real quick. I mentioned when we first started that this game was made by Robert Kurvitz, who is an Estonian novelist. To be exact, by novelist, I mean he wrote one novel, A Sacred and Terrible Air. It didn't sell very well, possibly because it was set in this custom role-playing setting and was almost completely impenetrable to anyone who wasn't already familiar with it, which is to say, his D&D group. Unlike this game, it doesn't have an amnesiac character being introduced to the world. Terms like pale are thrown around without further elaboration. The book was a failure. It sold almost no copies. And now, ever since the popularity of the game, it's been in high demand, but it's almost impossible to get your hands on it because, well, there's all kinds of licensing problems, and you may be familiar with all the difficulties that this company has been through. Also, there's the fact that it was originally written in Estonian, which is not a very popular language to sell books in. But I will mention that that book takes place 20 years after the events of this game, in the 70s. And I don't want to give away the plot on the off chance that this video is being watched by someone in the future where, you know, hopefully the book becomes more readily available and I don't want to spoil it. But suffice to say, some really bad stuff happens. Apocalyptic stuff, even. Harry's not wrong. And let's see what we get for it. Sorry, where's my me? Let me bring me back here. Come on. Oh, there I am. Anyway. We already had our learning cap for Shivers raised to 6. Now we've got our cap for Inland Empire raised as well. That's going to be important. Okay. But for now, we're done. I'd like to thank you all for joining me once again. I really do appreciate having this opportunity to show you the world of Revachol. And we will be returning next week, assuming I don't have any more technical difficulties. But for now, thank you so much for joining me, and assuming the world doesn't end, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.